Today, myself, Representative Neeley, Representative Garrett, and a number of others are convening a hearing on water affordability and safety. In Detroit and in Flint and Highland Park, we've got a lot of water issues going on right now, whether it be the shutoffs in Detroit, whether it be the water quality issues in Flint, or just the general issues around affordability that we really need to work on. So we're going to be hearing testimony from a number of residents, as well as community leaders and faith leaders and public health folks as well. And so we're just really excited to hear people's testimony and their own experiences. And my hope is that we'll be able to use the information that we gather today and take that and move it forward in terms of some legislative action.
Well, I pay $175 per month for water. I do not have any leaks. The average price is probably about $200 or so dollars per month for water. I cannot use my water. I actually, because of the overchlorination, to try to stop the E. coli. Every time I wash my hands using unfiltered water, my hands peel. I have to add a bunch of stuff to the water if I'm going to actually use it and expose my hands to it. I use latex gloves to wash my dishes because I don't own a dishwasher. Because of all of the stuff that's in it, it's providing wear and tear on all of my appliances that use water. And I pay an additional $100 a month for bottled water for me to use for cooking and drinking.
The bills, astronomical. We're paying for water we can't even use. We're having a card in water we can use, and we're paying $200 a month, which is about 8 times the national average. It's been pretty bad.
This is not a situation where it is a deadbeat city and people don't want to pay their bills. They want to pay. But what happened over a period of time is that the bills weren't collected. So last year and the year before, when they started shutting the water, some people had bills in the $2,000, $8,000.
They turned off the water at a homeless shelter. How do you turn off water at a shelter that's taking in homeless people? It was the people in Highland Park that confronted the city council as well as the administration as to why we had stopped receiving bills, because we knew the end result. That you would place that on our property tax and set us up for failure, which would mean taking our houses and at the same time putting us in a health situation that our families could die from.
I was supposed to apparently pay the $5,735, which I guess was for a year and 4 months. And I was supposed to pay all of it in one chunk. I asked about getting on a payment plan. I asked them to check and see if it was accurate because I had these discrepancies. And by this time, I have 3 account numbers with my name tied to it. They turned my water off, I sought help, and they immediately threatened to remove my children from the home.
We in the city of Flint are survivors. We have a reputation for that. The idea that we have to live with toxic water, and other people gonna talk about how our water has been poisoned by going to the Flint River. I didn't even get to talk about that yet. So we're in a catch-22. We have a quality problem, the quality of the water and the cost of the water.
In April of last year, we were switched from Detroit's water to use the Flint River as our water source, which we had only been using as backup for about 50 years. We were not given a choice or an option. It was done by emergency management. Proper tests were not done. Corrosive controls were not put in place. We've had several evaluations come through. Our water is so caustic, it is now tearing apart our pipes. What is happening to me is I have copper poisoning. We were not told for 10 months that our water was failing all of the THM violation tests. We were not notified. We failed since May, August, November, and we weren't told until January that our water was toxic. When we received the boil notice orders, Over the summer, there were 3 because there was E. coli in our water. So there's a lot of people with bacterial infections. We were told to boil our water. The unfortunate thing is that copper, lead, THMs, and other issues are released into steam. You absorb them through your breathing, your mucus, your skin when it is boiled. So our showers are more dangerous than our drinking of the water. All of these issues were brought out by Bob Bokoff and Aaron Brockovich, who we brought in, did an evaluation for free, presented to the City Council and the Mayor. Nothing has been done.
My name is Alexis Ramsey, and I'm a Charter Commissioner in the City of Highland Park. And what makes Highland Park different than Flint and Detroit is that this was actually systematically done to us. Our water plant was shut down against our will, against the will of the City Council. Once again, after the water plant was shut down against our will, they stopped sending the City of Highland Park water bills for almost 3 years. Now, a certain section of the city did receive water bills, but their water bills were so astronomically high that they were unable to pay it. When you receive a 6-month bill that's almost $4,000, there's a direct problem. So we did not create this. So once again, we have a city administration who did not send us out water bills for 3 years, did not pay the City of Detroit, which caused DWSD to sue the City of Highland Park for this $20 million for water and sewage rates. We are being charged also at the rate of 30,000 residents when we have less than 10,000 residents actually in our community. So now we're here. We had a company come in called Pierce Monroe who charged about $65,000 to come in and do a water survey of the community. They clearly admitted that the water bills that were sent out over that 3-year period were inaccurate. They were not properly done. The water equipment did not work. The readings that they were getting with the meter sticks that they had, the sticks didn't work, so they were unable to actually read the meters. So we now know that those water bills were actually, how can I say it, just made up numbers out the sky. And so from there, now we're at this point where Pierce Monroe decided to take water bill averages from April 2012. So you're taking water bill averages that you actually knew were not accurate bills. And now you said, okay, well, what we're going to do is we found 2 homes on your street that had a 12-month reading. And then you're generating a bill off of those readings instead of coming out to actually read our homes. So now we're getting bills. Now, if I live alone. I live in my home alone by myself. But yet there's a person who lives down the street from me that may have 8 children. So because she had a 12-month read, now I'm being charged for her water rate, which I think is extremely unfair in what's happening in our city.
I would like to see the bills come down. I'd like to see some compensation for those that have purchased water that can't use it. I would like to also see some safety measures, possibly even somebody that can go in and double check the people that are putting these numbers out at the water treatment plants, because there's no balance, there's no check and balance to any of this, and it leaves the ones that are depending on this helpless.
We heard some amazing testimony today. We had a great turnout from residents all across the state of Michigan to talk about this very serious issue of water quality, water cost in the state of Michigan. We're going to be moving forward with legislation to try to curb some of the things that we heard today in testimony. We heard some heart-wrenching stories about the loss of water for families and residents throughout the state of Michigan, and we're duty-bound to look at ways that we can help these families that spread out across the state of Michigan to get affordable, safe drinking water in their homes. And I think today we had a bipartisanship panel. We had legislators, senators and representatives alike, Republicans and Democrats alike, to hear about these very serious issues. And we think we're going to be on the right road to trying to help the state of Michigan craft some legislation to help these families.
But what are we doing with a water crisis? And that is the way our system is organized, depriving our people of this life necessity.
These people don't deserve what they're getting. They don't deserve to be overbilled. They don't deserve for their water bills to be placed on their property taxes. They deserve the same quality of life as anybody else. We have the best Great Lakes there is in Michigan. We should not be living like a third world country. Moving forward, we need to create policies that will provide safety, affordability, and reliability for the wonderful citizens of Michigan. It's not just a Detroit issue, it's not a Flint issue, and it's definitely not just a Highland Park issue. This is a Michigan issue that needs to start with our legislators, and we need the full backing of the whole governing body to provide solutions for the people of this wonderful state.